What's going on, guys? Preseason week 2 in the Minnesota Vikings franchise against the Seattle Seahawks on the road in the second game of the preseason, facing former teammates of many of the Vikings on this team right now, Sidney Rice and Tavares Jackson. So it'll be interesting to get a glimpse of what they're going to do in Seattle. But check this out. The Seattle Seahawks are coming out of the tunnel, but look who their starting quarterback is. It's actually going to be Charlie Whitehurst. Pete Carroll has benched Tavares Jackson in favor of Whitehurst. That's an interesting decision, as they look to have wanted Tavares Jackson to be their starter, but I guess that is not the case. And so we'll get into the game, and trying to run Adrian Peterson. Didn't get very many carries in the first game, and we got to get him ready for the regular season. And also McNabb, still working on the chemistry with the receivers. Got to get him acquainted with a few of the new faces he's going to be seeing. And we also got to get going on the wide receiver cuts, as we have to cut 2 guys to make it 5. Hooking up with Michael Jenkins there is probably going to be a very common connection throughout the regular season, as Michael Jenkins is a pretty reliable possession receiver with good hands. But always, Donovan Mcnabb now has the best running back he's ever played with in Adrian Peterson. And because these rosters aren't completely up to date, Chad Greenway and Adrian Peterson still have 1 year left on their contracts, and so I plan on re-signing them in the preseason before the regular season. And in the last episode of the preseason, I'll show you guys how many years everybody has left on their contract. And I have a lot of guys with expiring contracts in the coming year, and so it's going to be interesting to see how many of them I decide to keep and how different this team looks in the next season. And now back to the game. The Seahawks caused a turnover and now are driving down the field. Charlie Whitehurst playing very well on his first opportunity against the first-team Vikings defense. Vikings trying to keep Marshawn Lynch in check. The run defense not as stout now without Pat Williams in the middle. And this is a scary sight for Vikings fans. Chad Greenway on the ground in pain. He would have a hit pointer and be out for the game. But it's still something to be cautious about, as we don't want one of our franchise players going down before the regular season even starts. And earlier in the game, Adrian Peterson had a fumble. We hope that's not an upcoming trend, as he looked to have fixed that problem last year. He only had 1 fumble, but his carrying rating is still pretty low, and so hopefully it improves. But we'll go to the punt return game now with Marcus Cheryl's undrafted cornerback out of Minnesota with a lot of speed, and we're hoping he can make a big impact on this team on special teams and on the defense if he needs to come in. So I'm very excited about Marcus Cheryl's, and also about the rookie Kyle Rudolph. I think he's going to have a big year in this franchise. I really do. I think he's going to be able to create a lot of mismatches, and with him and Shanko on the field at the same time, I think we're going to have a lot of success in the passing game. Another guy we're looking to step up is wide receiver Bernard Berrian. He hasn't performed very well in the recent years, and so if he has another down year, we might not bring him back for our next season. And right now I have no plans to bring back Donovan Mcnabb for another season. I think after this year, Christian Pond will be ready to go as the starter, and will go forward in the future. I'm not very fond of the Vikings' decision to keep bringing in veteran quarterbacks instead of drafting and developing a franchise quarterback that can lead this team for many years to come. And back to the gameplay again. Nice hit by Jamarcus Sanford. We're still looking at the safety battle between him and Tyrell Johnson, looking for one of those two to stand out and capture the starting spot. And we need some defensive playmakers in the secondary. The secondary hasn't been very good in recent years. A lot of that due to injuries, with Cedric Griffin tearing both his ACLs in consecutive seasons, and also Chris Cook getting injured last year, and Antoine Winfield aging and not being able to keep up with a lot of the fast receivers in the NFL anymore. But he has consistently been one of the best tackling corners in the league. And now with the starters getting extended playing time in the second preseason game, McNabb flushed out of the pocket. Nice pass on the run to Michael Jenkins. Great play there, and that's something we did not see in the last couple of years with Brett Favre not being mobile at all, really. But the pass there to Jenkins is knocked away, and the Vikings would settle for a field goal. And our defensive line has been playing awesome in the preseason. Remy Adele with the last sack, and now Brian Robinson getting in on the action, replacing Ray Edwards, who now plays for the Atlanta Falcons. But I have a lot of faith in this defensive line so far in this franchise. I mean, even the backups have been stepping up and making a lot of big plays. And now Donovan McNabb on 3rd and 19, running to his left. The Seahawks not really in high pursuit of him, and he just lets the play develop, and Devin Aromashodu eventually gets open behind all the Seattle defenders. What a touchdown for a guy that's looking to make this team and may have just made the big play that helps us make that decision. And now Charlie Whitehurst attacking Antoine Winfield. And like I said before, Antoine Winfield has been getting older, is having trouble keeping up with a lot of receivers running those deep routes, and Sidney Rice does not have tremendous speed. But once again, Rice beating Winfield, this time for a touchdown, showing Minnesota that he was worth the money that Seattle paid him, and that Minnesota was foolish to not re-sign him. And now the ensuing kickoff to Lorenzo Booker, about a yard deep in the end zone. Got some blocks on the right side, looking to turn the corner, passing midfield, turning on the Jets. Finally pushed out at the 19-yard line. Great return and a great play by a guy trying to make this team. That's what the preseason is all about. Guys stepping up, making plays, trying to make the team. And then McNabb hits Bernard Berrian for a touchdown pass before the half. And now we'll see Tavares Jackson come in as the Seattle Seahawks quarterback. And Remy Adele meets him with a sack, his second on the day. And he's got some big shoes to fill as he's the replacement for Pat Williams on the Vikings defensive line. And now Ponder hooking up with Emmanuel Arsenault, a guy on the bubble to make this roster out of the Canadian Football League. One thing I really like about Christian Ponder is his ability to move out of the pocket like he does on this play, find the open passing lane, and hit Kyle Rudolph for a first down. The rookie-to-rookie connection, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that in the coming years. And I also have big hopes for Toby Gerhart as a backup running back. But now Ponder out of the gun, trying to squeeze it into Stephen Burton, and he can't hold on. You got to make those catches if you want to make this team and impress the coaches. And now Ponder on 4th and 6, looking deep on the left side. Nice arm strength, but the ball is going to be a little bit out of bounds. Still a good opportunity to see Ponder's arm strength. And now Tavares Jackson back at work, trying to get the Seattle Seahawks back in this game. And once again, sacked by Christian Ballard. Ballard having a very good preseason so far. And now Jackson out of the gun. Quick pass right to John Carlson. It's going to be a 9-yard gain. And earlier in the game, Chris Cook had a pectoral strain. He will return soon. But that's a guy we don't want to get injured again. Vikings back on offense. Devin Aromashodu making another nice catch from quarterback Christian Ponder. Aromashodu has been making some plays in this preseason. And once again, Toby Gerhart back at work, showing the ability to get off the edge and then run a defender over as he falls forward for a few extra yards. Now Ponder, play action. Ouch. He is met by Aaron Curry. Don't want to see your starting quarterback of the future on the ground. Got to keep him on his feet, boys. And the deep pass there at Kleinsasser in triple coverage was a questionable decision. A couple more guys are shaken up, and now Tavares Jackson back on offense. He hands off to Justin Forsett out of the gun, and he meets Xavier DB's shoulder. Make hits like that, and you can put guys in the dirt. You're going to have a good chance of making this team. Lenzel Barton was shaken up earlier in the game, but he will return soon. And if anyone thinks that the injuries are a little unrealistic in this game, you got to think in the NFL, most teams have 6 to 10 guys on the IR at the end of the season. And injuries are a common theme, and so I don't see it to be a problem yet. And the Seahawks working now in Vikings territory, and Forsett is met by Mistral Raymond, a nice hit by the rookie safety, but that would end in a missed field goal. And the Vikings' next possession, Ponder is hit and sacked once again by Cohen. And now Ponder back to pass on 3rd and long, finds Caleb King, guy who's trying to make this team, and he's not able to get the first down. He only gets 10 yards on the play. And we'll enter Joe Webb now for the 4th quarter. Lorenzo Booker in at the 3rd down running back spot on the screen pass. He picks up 6 yards on the play. 3rd and 1 now for Webb out of the gun. Short pass over the middle to Stephen Burton. He can't hang on, but that was a ball you have to catch, especially on a 3rd down situation. So Tavares Jackson back on the attack. Now hooking up with Deion Butler. The Vikings have their 3rd team defensive backs in the game, and they're playing against some of the Seahawks' better receivers in Deion Butler and Mike Williams still, and so it's a test for our depth and see how they perform. Now on 2nd and 4, T-Jack hooks up with John Carlson, who got a step on Cobb on the play, a guy who was very low on the cornerback depth chart. And then Jackson is sacked by DeAndre Reed, and man, the defensive line has just been the story of this entire preseason. And Jackson back to pass on 3rd and long, and Tyrell Johnson steps in front of the Tavares Jackson pass, and T-Jack throws a touchdown to the Vikings one more time as Tyrell Johnson takes it in for a pick 6, and the Vikings go up now 37-10. But Jackson's still going through the air. Brandon Burton unable to cover Obamanu as he gets a first down for 18 yards on the play. And And then T-Jack out of the shotgun, still working out of that shotgun. The handoff goes to Durham, and that's another nice tackle by Tyrell Johnson. Didn't allow the running back to get a first down. And now the Vikings on offense, and Caleb King getting some reps in at running back. He's 4th on the depth chart, and he's a long shot to make this team, but the Vikings are still giving him a chance. And he's doing pretty well. The Vikings' backup offensive line has been playing very good, opening a lot of holes for him, Booker, and Gerhardt. And so it's nice to see King make some nice plays, but I'm not sure he's going to make this team, but maybe we can trade him for a draft pick or something. And now the pass from Joe Webb is picked off by Walter Thurman III. Nice interception. That would about seal the game. A couple more plays for the Seahawks offense. T-Jack hands off to Forsett. He's tackled by Remy Adele. And one more play in this game, and Tavares Jackson back to pass. And what a way to end this game. He is sacked on the play once again by DeAndre Reed. And so the Vikings play very well in their second preseason game, pick up the victory on the road at Seattle, 37-10. Player of the game honors go to, of course, Tyrell Johnson, who had the nice pick 6 in the 4th quarter. Next week the Vikings have the Dallas Cowboys, but we'll go now and see who the Vikings decide to cut after week 2 of the preseason. And they're going to cut 4th-string quarterback Drew Zapalak, the 3rd-string right tackle Patrick Brown, who has a very low potential rating, the long snapper Cullen Loeffler, and that'll be it for this episode. And also, guys, once I get episode 3 up here in the preseason, I plan on playing episode 4 live on Justin TV and letting you guys vote on some of the position battles and who you think should start. If you want to know when that live stream is going to be, you can follow me on Twitter at MrHurriicane, and I'll keep you guys updated as far as that is concerned. And also, I post a lot more stuff on my Twitter account, and I'm projecting that live stream to be probably Friday or Saturday of this week. Wanted it to be on the weekend so more of you guys can see it, and so I hope a lot of you guys do come for the finale of the preseason once week 3 is up here and I'm ready to go. But for now, hope you guys enjoy the series so far, and I'm excited to get going on the regular season. And so everybody have a nice day. See you guys in the next commentary.